Hey, what is up? What's going on, everybody? Joe here, Radio 690 ADV, 690ADV.com. Happy Thursday. Yep, podcast come a little bit later now because of football season and everything else that's going on in the world of the 690 ADV. I just got way too much stuff going on, but I still got to bring it. So anyway, hopefully everybody had a pretty good day today and pretty much a good week. Mine was a pretty interesting week. I was on a job site and a Rottweiler decided to sample my calf muscle. So, yeah, very, very interesting. So, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but it was very, very interesting. It was, I almost couldn't believe it that it actually happened. So, but anyway. Don't forget, if you're not part of our 690 ADV, you need to be part of it. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube or syndicating off onto Apple iTunes or Apple Music now, whatever they want to call it. I mean, they change their stuff all the time. Google Podcast, any of the podcast platforms, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, any of those, you can find us. Remember, every Sunday, every Thursday, we have our podcast, and we just kind of dabble into the little things that are out there, mainly for new riders and intermediate riders, but also we bring some information that hopefully helps even seasoned riders. So we've got some segments coming up here before too much longer that we're going to get into. The adventure side of it is starting to cool down, so I'm going to be able to get out, do some trips, some camping, some adventure riding and stuff like that. Then we'll be bringing a lot of that stuff to you, which is really going to be nice, and it's also getting really good for riding season. It's cooling down. We can start wearing our jackets and our pants and things like that. I know I get harassed all the time because I don't wear all the gear all the time. I don't believe into the ATGAT. Everybody's responsible for themselves. I take enough precautions for what I am and for what I'm doing and where I'm riding. I think I've got it pretty much covered up. So ATGAT can go away the dodo in my world. So anyway, your dual sport bike, and you're maybe new, or you just picked one up, or you're thinking about getting one and things like that, what are really the things you need to do to that bike to really get it to where, because the reason you want one is because you have been researching and you've been on YouTube and maybe you found my channel. Woohoo, thank you very much. And hopefully you subscribe to us. But, and there's so many channels out there, so many motorcycles. There's really a bunch of really cool motorcycle channels that are out there, and you can get a lot of really good information, but believe it or not, you can get a lot of bad information too. So the thing is, and there's so many different motorcycles that are out there, and the year ranges, man, I mean, they teeter and totter, and everything's not compatible for every bike. So basically what this podcast is about is to bring you into the world of what are the necessities and the things that you truly need for that motorcycle before you get going. And there are certain things, in my personal opinion, of doing it for many, many years, that I think that you just have to have. It's really a must. It's a must that you need to have on that motorcycle if you want to get out and you want to kind of do it. You want to do the stuff like you see on some of the YouTube channels, actually travel on a motorcycle. So plus be able to do the off-road stuff. So, if you're getting a Honda Shadow or something like that, man, you can still do a lot of this stuff. I wouldn't advise taking it off road, but I've seen guys take street bikes off road, and I've seen them actually do very well. So I'm very careful in how I speak my information until I see people ride, because I've seen some guys that don't look like they can ride, and man, I'll tell you what, they can freaking flat out do it. They can get it. They can handle their business. So be real careful on who you're talking to, because you may not know how good that guy can really ride. It may make you look really, really dumb. But some of the things that I feel that you gotta have on your dual sport bike or the Enduros. I mean, honestly, truly, if it was built from the manufacturer and it has blinkers, I don't care if people want to call it. They're still dual sport bikes. The reason being, dual purpose, road, dirt. That's it. That's why they're called dual sports. The 500 EXCs and the 300s and the 250s and all this stuff. Like, oh, those are all Enduros. Yeah, they're dual sports. I don't care what you say. They're freaking dual sports. But the things that are needed on even those bikes, and not just that, you may be looking at a KLR 650, used DR650, a used DR400. You may be looking at a CRF 250, a Yamaha WR250R. You may be looking at a KLX 250S. You could be looking at a Suzuki DR200. God, man, there's so many different bikes that are out there. Not only that, just the older bikes that they don't even really make anymore are still great, fantastic bikes. And they do a great job. So what do you need for those? Well, if you get the bike and it's used, look it over and keep a checklist of some of these things that you probably want on that bike. I personally think these are absolute musts of what you need to adventure travel, to actually get out and adventure travel. Number one, the very first thing that I get for every bike when I get it, because they always come with one and they always suck. They're horrible. The skid plate or the bash plate. That's number one in my book. That's the first thing I get because they always give you this chintzy plastic piece of garbage. They don't work very well, or they don't even give you one at all. And that's the most crucial part of your bike. The engine's exposed from underneath around the casings and where the oil reservoir is and all that stuff. Why would you not want to protect that? Number one, that's really it. The skid plate or the bash plate, I think that's really the first thing you get. They don't cost a whole lot of money. Really, really nice ones will probably run you around $150 to $200 plus, depending on who you're buying from. Can you really put a price on it? You hit a rock, it goes through your engine case. Well, guess what? Game over. Have a great day. Would you have paid $150 then? You bet you would have. So, skid plate definitely number one. I think it's definitely a must. Everybody should have one on their bikes. If you can go with the anodized aluminum or the aircraft aluminum, those are awesome because they're super, super, super light. But the metal ones are not bad. They're a little heavy. Everybody gets all freaked out about weight. Weight, it doesn't matter what you do. It's there's going to be weight to everything. You know, shave as much as you can, but at the end of the day, if you want something light, that's going to come in the form of the motorcycle, not the few add-ons that you're going to put on it. The motorcycle itself is going to dictate what's heavy or not heavy. Number two, hand guards. Hand guards, man. Hand guards. There are so many of them out there. You can go Cycle Gear, eBay, Amazon, all those different places that are out there. Those are the guards that go around the handlebars and over the throttle and over the clutch. And not only that, they do multi things. And a lot of people think, oh yeah, all they do is protect your levers. Not really. That's not exactly what they're made for. They're actually made to keep you from breaking your wrist. Because when you hit, a lot of people have a hard time letting go of the bike. A lot of people ride the bike down, which is always a bad idea. It usually ends up badly. It's not a good thing. But they're bark busters, so they're made to hit brush and things like that. Keeps your hands from getting smacked by brush and things like that. You know, so you don't have to remove that hand. You're like, oh my God, that hurt, things like that. If you're going through a single track or something like that. Telling you, brush guards are fantastic. Get the plastic covers that go over them. They'll protect your digits. They'll help you. They'll save your levers too. They really are to protect your levers as well, but that's not the main reason that you put them on there. But they do a fantastic job. Plus, you can attach things to them too. Get creative, man. You can make some really, really cool stuff by doing that. Number 3, windscreen. If it doesn't come with a windscreen that's very good, a lot of bikes don't even come with a windscreen. KTM 690, KLX, CRF 250, I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And if they do come with a windscreen, they're usually garbage. Beauty part is aftermarket windscreens. And if you shop around and look really, really hard, you can find really, really good windscreens that'll get that air, take a lot of the buffeting. If you don't know what buffeting is the air that circulates and comes over the windscreen and hits the beak of your helmet and pushes your head back. Do that for about 4 or 5 hours during the day, and guess what? You're gonna have a pretty sore neck. So the best, to get that air up over does a fantastic job. I'm telling you, it's worth every penny. I'm telling you right now. So windscreens are fantastic. It's definitely a must, and they don't cost a whole lot of money. Just shop around. You can find great deals on them. Number 4. This one is definitely a 100 must. Seat. I've had them all, man. I've ridden without them, and I've ridden with them. People are like, I'm not spending money on an aftermarket seat. All right, well, here's the deal. Take your factory seat, ride it, and then go hop on a custom seat, and $50, you'll change your mind in no time flat. Go punch 100 miles, 200 miles, whatever. I don't care what seat it is. Very few bikes come with fantastic seats that don't need to be swapped out. I only know of a few bikes that actually have seats that are real and actually fantastic and good, and those are $15,000 to $18,000 motorcycles. And the reason that they cost so much is because they spare no expense, because if you can afford that, they're going to put a good seat on it. My BMW is one of them. It had basically a memory foam seat, and it was just marvelous. It was awesome. Like, that's the only bike I ever bought that I didn't have to put a seat on, and it just was fantastic. You could do as many miles as you wanted to do in a day. No big deal. But seats are definitely something that you're going to want to look into. You're going to want to get a seat, because seats will save you, man. When you start getting basically the chapped butt and things, I'm telling you, man, you get the monkey butt, it doesn't go away. The only thing, you've got two options: deal with it, shift cheeks, or get off the bike. Those are your options. So once it's in, it's in. There's not much you can do. But those are really probably the most crucial upgrades that need to happen immediately. If you have some upgrades that you think I missed, throw them out there. Put them in the comment section and let other riders know what you think is the best thing that you need to have on that bike. Those are the things that I think. Maybe one more that I would say would upgrade your headlamp so you get better visibility on the road at night and things like that. I did it to my KTM. I did it to my KLR. Well, I did it to all my bikes, but I don't think it's a total must. Most of them are not all 100% horrible. Most of them are pretty decent. But I say if you're going to do it, then definitely go with the LEDs. And it's going to be fantastic, and it's going to be great on your bike, because visibility really is king. So, but those are really a bunch of crucial things that I think that you should do to your bike as soon as you get them. If you bought a used bike and it's already on there, man, kudos to you. I just think that you just go get them. It's worth every penny. Anyway, I'm Joe. Happy Thursday. And if I can help you out in any way, don't forget 690adv@gmail.com. And don't forget, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, be part of it, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Rant and Ride. We appreciate you. 690 out.